Hi everyone, I hope you all are doing well and staying safe. I thought I would just take you through my final presentation and just show you what I've been up to recently. So my project for now is called The Shadowed Home, and it is a study of paranoia in my childhood home. So this is a photo essay that has really been the backbone for my project. I did it in the beginning of the semester, just trying to visualize the fears that I have in this specific location. So a lot of them are kind of this idea of an intruder or someone coming after me, but there's also a fear of kind of aspects of the house itself. So this is the completed lineup. There's 6 looks, and as you can see, they are quite sculptural. So this is not for everyday wear. It's for special events or occasions or performances. But I thought I would just clarify that in the beginning. This is not just something you're wearing to the supermarket. I also want to note that I am in my basement. One, it's one of the quietest places in the house, and 2, it's very fitting for the vibe of this, so I thought I would just shoot it down here. Throughout the semester, I've been keeping a journal so that whenever I feel these kind of waves of unease come on, I write down those feelings in the notebook. And so for this project, I've kind of assigned a sentence or a feeling with each look to better describe how I feel. So the first look is my bed needs to be in the corner of my room so that I can turn over easy at night knowing nothing will reach up and grab me. So since the beginning of the semester, I've been working with this idea of dismemberment and creating body parts out of plaster. So for this next look, I use the plaster to create a mask as well as a hand, and this is probably the most abstract of all the silhouettes, but it's quite literally supposed to be this idea of bed sheets falling off because you've kind of jumped out of bed because you've had a fright or there's this kind of anxiety that you're experiencing. So for the headpiece and also the rest of the outfit, I'm using used bed sheets and pillowcases. And so on the top, we have a pillowcase that I'm filling with insulating foam. And insulating foam is really lightweight and rigid, so it holds its shape really well without adding any weight. And then the pillow is being held up by the straps that are connecting to the mask. And then, like I said, we have the plaster hand kind of crawling up the pillow. Then for the actual outfit, we have the bed sheets that I'm covering in seaweed dye. The seaweed doesn't actually dye the fabric; it just leaves a residue. And you'll see throughout the collection that my materiality applications are supposed to evoke this sense of the unknown, and they're supposed to evoke this sense of paranoia. You see this garment from afar and you don't really think much of it, and then at a closer look you see, oh my god, what is this kind of weird substance that is all over the fabric. So along with the silhouettes, the materiality is also supposed to have this effect on the wearer and the person viewing the collection. So like I said, this piece is a specific reference to the bed sheets, and the top and the skirt are supposed to be as if, like I said, you've kind of gotten up because you've had a fright, and they're kind of falling off of you. Next we have, I'm scared of murky water pooling at my feet. I'm scared of reaching my fingers into the drain and pulling out the clumpy mess of hair and who knows what else. So for this, I wouldn't say I'm specifically scared of it, but again, I'm just trying to work with the materials that kind of evoke this sense of unease. So for this, I was working with hair, human hair. So for this look, we have a quilted top, again, the reference to the bed and comfort. And I might also add that, there is this duality in the project that, a house that you grow up in is supposed to be a place of comfort, and, your bed and sheets and quilts are supposed to be comfortable, and yet, in this collection, there's something off and not right about them. So for the top, we have this quilted top, but instead of the batting being in the inside, we have the insulating foam kind of like dripping out of it. And then for the pants, we have these hair pants. So I cover the pants in hair and then seal them with liquid latex so they don't catch on anything. This is a video of how I did these swatches. So here I'm quilting the fabric and then I spray the foam into little shapes and then kind of mold them and put them in each pocket. And then here I'm using like the wet foam to do the dripping aspect of the swatch. Next we have this other piece that has the hair in it. So from afar it looks like it's stripes, white and brown stripes, but then at a closer look, it's hair. And again, I'm sealing it with the liquid latex. And then also for this look, we have this necklace, and it's going to be made of plaster, and it's going to be adjustable in the back. So here we have two pieces. It's the dress and the separate necklace. Here is a video of how I make this swatch. So I kind of create this stripe and then get the hair and kind of tack it down with Mod Podge and then trim it and then seal it with the liquid latex. So again, it doesn't get caught on anything. So that's what that looks like. Next we have I'm scared of the shadows that emerge in the dark. So for this, I was working with placing objects, shapes under the fabric and seeing how the fabric kind of absorbed it and how it warped around it. So for this look, I have this harness underneath the dress, and it's going to be one piece, so you're just going to put it all on at once. But the harness is made with these paper mache balloons that I'm dipping in resin. So that's going to be kind of what's holding up the dress. And again, we have this kind of rippling of the fabric, again, a reference back to the bed and bed sheets. And I might as well note that, the bed is important, like I said, because of the comfort aspect, but also because these nightly delusions happen normally when I'm in bed. So next we have I'm scared of the tapping in the walls, the chugging of the pipes, the screeching and groaning of the wooden floors. My nightly delusions strangle me into a mental and physical paralysis. So in the beginning of the project, I was trying to make the actual garments have these sounds when they were being worn, and for that I was experimenting a lot with different size tubes, and I ended up not continuing with having the garments make these sounds, but I really liked working with this material, so I continued with that. So for this look we have a tube jacket, and it's almost as if the tubes are crawling over and kind of consuming the wearer. And then under that we have a jumpsuit that is again this reference to the bed sheets. It's supposed to be as if the fabric's being pulled all over the body in different directions, as if they're actually strangling the wearer. And here is the process video. So I'm cutting and kind of putting the tubes together, then covering them in fabric and closing them up, and then kind of intertwining them together. Then this is the jumpsuit underneath, so here I'm just kind of grabbing different parts of the fabric, tacking them down, and then I eventually sew them down with elasticated thread. Next we have I'm scared of looking out the window at night for fear of who or what I might see staring back at me. So again, since the beginning of the semester, I've been working with this idea of mimicry and creating faux glass and faux wood. And like I said in the beginning of the presentation, this is very site specific. These fears are very site specific. So I wanted to connect it back to the house because it does, the house itself does have a big influence on this project. So I wanted to create, physical elements that would, like I said, connect me back to the house. So I was working with glass and wood, and this is made of resin. So for this final look, I created a resin bustier that's backed in chiffon. And then there are ties that go to the back. And then this gray fabric is actually headliner foam, which is meant for your car. But it's interesting because it's polyester on one side and then foam on the other. So it's very clingy, and as you can see in this drape, it, allows for really cool kind of sculpting of the fabric. So that is for the sleeves and the shorts, and then the sleeves are connected in the back with a bolero-like design. And this is how I make it. So first I cover the dress form in plastic, and then I put the chiffon on and then drip the resin on top. And I have to do a couple coats of resin because one is just too thin. And then here I'm cutting it off the dress form. It's quite a process. So here I'm taking it off very carefully, and then I'm cutting it and shaping it. So that's the presentation. This is just the final lineup again. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope this brought more clarity to the project. In the coming months, I'm going to just be working on creating these garments. Thanks, guys.